What's up, folks? Hope everybody is doing great. We getting ready to get this thing on the road, man. Hope everybody is doing well. I want to say good evening to you all. This is our Monday Motivational Power Talk. It takes place each and every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me see make sure I'm centered here on the camera. Let's see. I think I'm centered now. Yeah, that should be it. Good evening, Diane Rozier. Thank you for joining. Where is Denise George? Getting ready to set this thing on fire. But we do have a few people that's already joined in. So let me go ahead and get started. If it's going to be, it's up to me to fulfill my dreams and possibilities with dedication and motivation to inspire thousands from all nations. When times are tough and breaks you down, just smile with toughness and rebuild from the ground. During tough times, adversity is a lot. Just remember, time flies, but you are the pilot. Hey, good evening, folks. Denise George, good evening. Jocelyn Price, good evening. Thank you all for joining this evening. This is our Monday Motivational Power Talk. I want to make two quick announcements as also favors to visit two pages. I'm about to sneeze. Hold tight, folks. All right, here we go. I want you to visit two pages, Jay Lee Speaks and WAN Global LLC. Visit those two pages on Facebook. Like those two pages because we have a lot of stuff that's getting ready to come out down the pipe. It's going to be exciting. We're fired up, and we'll be happy to share these information with you. Thank you, Diane Rozier. Appreciate that. As we get into our topic, I'm going to pull something out of my book, Change Your Mind, Change Your Life, which is going to be going into republishing very, very soon. This is a chapter out of my book. I'm not going to go word for word from the book, but I'm just going to tag the text. It's called What's in the Basement. And it starts with a story that I've heard from Zig Ziglar. He talks about a farmer down in Beaumont, Texas, many years ago, decades ago, owned a farm, huge farm. And the farming business turned out to not be so good for him. So he started to sell some of his land, parts of his land, to make ends meet. And as he was selling parts of his land, one representative from a particular oil company walks up to him in Beaumont, Texas. And he says to him, he says, "Sir, we believe you have oil in your land." The farmer says, "Really?" And this representative says, "Yes, if you allow us to dig for it, and if we discover it, we will pay you royalties for every barrel of oil that we produce." The farmer said, "I got nothing else to lose. I was trying to sell most of my land anyway, and I have everything to gain. Why not go for it?" So, ladies and gentlemen, this oil company started to dig on his land. And during the introduction of the spindle top. And they dug and they dug and they dug. And all of a sudden, they hit oil. Oil just flew all up in the air, just flew all over the place. I mean, it was like gushing and gushing and gushing of a whole lot of oil right here, right down there in Beaumont, Texas. Did you know that 4 major oil companies were produced out of that man's land? Oil companies. And ladies and gentlemen, guess what? They were able to produce over 100,000 barrels of oil. Now, did the farmer become a millionaire when he bought the land? Was the land worth millions of dollars when he bought it? Of course it was. The thing, though, is he never knew what was in the basement of the land. He was trying to sell everything on top of the land instead of what was recognizing what was in the land. So, folks, what he had in the basement of his land, the basement of the earth, was something that was so valuable. When it was brought to the marketplace, it changed his whole life forever. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you have in the basement? I'm not talking about the basement in your house. I'm talking about your basement. What's in your basement? So you see, folks, that question is very, very important, because here's why. We were all brought to this planet. We were all born to do something spectacular. We were all born to produce something the world needs. We were born to make a mark in the world. As James Arthur Ray says, put a dent in the universe. What do you have in the basement, ladies and gentlemen? Very, very important question. You have to ask yourself this question. Because we all were born to do something spectacular. So what do you have in the basement? That goes back to a few weeks ago when I talked about finding your life purpose. Remember when I talked about the 3 Ds to an extraordinary lifestyle? First D is discovery. You got to discover your greatness. The second D was determination. You have to determine your why. And the third D was definition, meaning you have to define your life's purpose. Did you know that many people walk this planet their entire life and never discover their purpose? Never discover their greatness, never determine their why, and never define their life's purpose. You know what one of my mentors, Les Brown, said? He said many people die at 21 and don't get buried until they're 75. Just walking around, just stealing air. They'll put a whole lot of money up for a concert, but they won't invest any of that money into their self-education, to learn how to be an entrepreneur, to learn how to invest, to learn how to think the way successful people think. Remember what I talked about this morning on our Monday talk, on our morning talk. I said a gentleman by the name of Nido Cobain. Nido Cobain is the mentor of my mentor, Dr. Willie Jolly. And Nido Cobain said, if you ever want to be rich, then find out what poor people do and don't do it. Rich people, they spend their money on seminars, conferences, workshops, mastermind groups, focus groups. Poor people take their money and go see Beyonce. Now, I'm probably going to get deleted for saying that. But folks, I don't give a damn. I got to share the information. I didn't make this up. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough has interviewed 1,000 Black millionaires around the country. 1,000 Black millionaires around the country. And he's gotten a lot of the same answers from each and every one of them. The first thing you have to understand is that you don't never, ever, ever defy the number one rule to money, and that's knowledge. We would spend money, $100, to go see Escape. I understand they were in town, or I don't know where they were, but I saw a whole lot of people going live, coming up on my timeline. Everybody want to go to see Escape. I never see that many people going live when they're sitting at a seminar learning something. I never see that many people going live when they're in Barnes and Noble buying or checking out a book that can change their thinking, that can change their lifestyle. I don't see that. That goes to prove to you that we live in a country that is entertainment based. We are not in a country that is education based. But let me tell you something. If you look at countries like Bangalore, Spain, India, Geneva, Those countries, ladies and gentlemen, are education-based. South Korea, education-based. China, education-based. But we want to be entertained. If you always want to be entertained, there is no way in four hells that you can bring anything valuable that you have from out of your basement. There's no way you can do it. No way. You have to sit your ass down and read a book. You got to learn. You got to apply what you learn. You see, knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power. But you're not going to get it out of you if all you want to do is take your little money and spend it on being entertained. The people you spending your money with, they take their money and invest it in making themselves better so that they can get more of your money. Lido Cobain said it best. I'm going to repeat his quote. If you want to be rich, find out what poor people do and don't do it. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough said if you hang around 9 broke people, eventually you'll be number 10. I'm around masterminders. A good friend of mine that I met, I won't say a good friend of mine, but a fine gentleman I met a couple of weeks ago. We're talking about doing a big project called Reinventing Black Wall Street. Mastermind brother, sharp brother from New York, now lives down here in St. Pete, Florida. Him, myself, and a brother named William Crowley. William Crowley is the guy the best guy I've ever seen to restore your credit. I'm not talking about all these little credit repair people, like everybody and their grandmother trying to do. No. This guy he's the real deal. He knows how to break out the Constitution. He brings out articles of the Constitution to share in the court, to share with anybody why they are frauds on your credit report. He's deep with it. But him, William Crowley, and I'm going to have him live with me one morning. The three of us, we're going to be heavy hitters down here. We're going to help a lot of people earn money as we earn it. And let me tell you something. The brother that I spoke about, his name is Shedrick. This brother, not only that he's involved, we're going to put together the project to reinvent Black Wall Street. But let me tell you who Shedrick is. Shedrick was, or maybe still is, a broker to the broker. Let me say that again. He's a broker of the brokers on Wall Street. It's not a game, folks. It's not a game. Brother's a broker to the brokers on Wall Street, down here, sharing his knowledge. And he gave a history on Black Wall Street a few weeks ago at the St. Petersburg Business League meeting. William Crowley is the president of the St. Petersburg Business League. And William Crowley just got in touch with me a few days ago about asking me to serve on the board as a consultant. Folks, you got to have a focus group. You have to have a small circle of masterminders. You don't need a circle of people who always want to talk about celebrity news, side chicks. What if your husband do this type of post? If your husband do this, what would you do? How would you respond if your husband's side chick came over and wanted to fix your plate? All this, it's a bunch of bullshit, man. It's a bunch of bullshit. And if you do have a business, I can guarantee you it will be no more than a mom and pop shop. That ain't gonna cut it in a new economy. You got to think bigger than that. You got to start thinking global. Y'all ready to delete me? Did I step on some toes? Guess what? No one gets better until their toes are stepped on. A crackhead would never recover as long as they don't think they're a crackhead. An alcoholic will never get well until he admits he's an alcoholic, or she admits that she's an alcoholic. These folks' denial will even keep a person with mental illness from getting better because of denial. The reason why I'm having success now, because I came to the conclusion a few years ago that, Jay Lee, you were broke as hell. Jay Lee, you in poverty. Jay Lee, your credit's so bad, they won't even send you pre-approved letters. They send you pre-declined letters. Open up the letter and it says, we know who you are. Don't even think about applying. But folks, listen, I had to come to that realization. I can't allow denial to get in the way of my thinking and get in the way of my growing. Because guess what? If you're not growing, you're dying. That's why a lot of poor people die at a premature death, because they're not growing. That came from Jim Rohn. Either you're growing or you're dying, and that's the truth. So, what do you have in the basement? What is inside of you? What do you have in your basement that you can bring to the marketplace that the world needs? Because we all have something the world needs. We were all born to do something spectacular. We were not born to just pay bills and die. No. What is it about you that's spectacular? What do you have to bring to the marketplace? Are you a comedian? Are you a singer? Are you a writer? Are you an author? You a poet? What is it? You're a movie director? You're a ball player? What is it? We all have a gift, ladies and gentlemen. That's the importance of life. Life is meant to be meaningful. What is your meaning to life? Why the hell are you here? You need to find your calling. Not your career, your calling. A lot of people get that misconstrued. They get it mixed up. You see, you can retire from your career, but you can never retire from your calling. Never. The day you retire from your calling is when you're dead. So you got to understand, you got to know the difference. Career and your calling. I'm not talking about a career. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, which Steve Harvey has stolen. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough said, a career is what you paid for, but your calling is what you're made for. That came from Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, not Steve Harvey. I know you've probably heard him mention that on his radio, on the radio. But he take a lot of quotes and don't give credit to the people who authored the quotes. Steve Harvey's still cool with me though, but that's what he do. In our arena, if you in the self-help arena, you don't quote people and not give them credit. We give people credit for quotes. He don't do that. But I'm just telling you who actually came out, said that quote. A career is what you paid for. A calling is what you're made for. That came from Dr. Dennis Kimbrough. So back to the topic at hand, folks. Why are you here? What do you have in the basement? You see this farmer who, these 4 oil companies were produced out of the much oil that was produced out of this farmer's land. This farmer purchased that land and didn't even know he had oil in it. He was doing bad. He was starting to do bad. He was starting to sell parts of his land just to make ends meet. And didn't even know that he was sitting on a fortune until somebody from an oil company said, we'll pay you royalties for every barrel of oil we produce off your land if you have oil in it. And they were able to produce over 100,000 barrels. So here's the thing, folks. The farmer knew he had land. That's all he knew. He had a land that exists. He had a farm that was just in existence. Now you know that you're in existence. You know that you're here. You know you're alive. But here's the question. What do you have in the basement? What do you have in your basement, in here, that the marketplace needs? You see, a lot of people don't even think that far. They want to go to the concerts. They want to go to all the ball games. Did you know that most people who are wealthy attain their wealth off of poor people? Off the ignorance of poor people? Did you know that? But then you have those who are wealthy who attain their wealth by helping others attain theirs. See, that's the side I'm on. As I'm building wealth, I'm going to help you build yours. That's what mentoring is all about. I'm not trying to sell something. I'm not trying to sell you a pair of shoes. I'm not trying to sell you no music. I'm trying to help you change your damn mindset. Especially if you're African American, because God knows we need to change. Whew! The stuff I see posted on Facebook is a damn shame. We are a sad-ass group of people. And I'm just not talking about the ignorant. I'm talking about poor grammar, misspelled words, don't know the difference between T-O and T-O-O, don't know how to spell won't, W-O-N apostrophe T. Instead, we spelling want, W-A-N-T, in place where won't should be. We put the word want there. Dude, I am fucking through. Y'all are killing me. Come on, man. We got to get it together, folks. We can't keep blaming no white man, or we can't keep blaming our system. And stop complaining about them building jails to put black folks in. Keep your black ass off the street doing crime. Simple as that. You won't go to jail. You won't be a product of the system. I'm not a product of it. There are plenty of people who are not a product of it. You can make all the excuses you want. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how you've been raised. When you become an adult, you know the difference between right and wrong. We're sad. Pissed off at you, man. I'm serious. We got to do better. We're so filled up with a bunch of bullshit. Woo, man, we are so fucking lost. We are behind. And I'm not talking about hashtag stay woke. Hell, the people that be posting that, they ain't even woke their damn self. The fact that you promote some stay woke is basically all some conspiracy theory that you're throwing out there and don't have any facts to back it up. I've never seen a conspiracy theorist change the course of a life of a lot of people. Never seen it. They end up broke and everybody follows them end up broke. You see, the people that follows you will end up like you. That's the truth, folks. So you got to be careful who you running behind. Be careful who's in your circle. Because you got people in your circle that could be drilling holes in the boat you're rowing. You got people that you could be following is selling wolf tickets. Some people are like travel agents. They send you places they've never been. I can't teach you how to dunk a basketball. I can't teach you how to run a 4-3 in a 40-yard dash. I can't teach you how to throw a football from one end zone all the way up close to the next end zone. I can't teach you how to ice skate. I can't teach you how to play hockey. Why? I never done them. I never done them. But I have overcame homelessness. I have overcame bad ass credit. Since I've been in Florida. Credit cards out there, you know what? Discover, American Express, you name it. Folks, I'm not telling you this to brag. I'm not telling you this to impress you. I'm telling you this to impress upon you that if I can overcome the adversities that I've overcame, homelessness, bad credit, no transportation to get around in. I was in DC before I moved to Florida. I had a BMW for about 12 years. I'm not talking about the BMW car. I'm talking about the initials BMW. What is those initials? Bus, Metro Rail, and Walk. 12 years. Couldn't afford to get a vehicle because I was so into too many in between jobs. Keep getting laid off, get hired again for something else, get laid off again, get hired, get laid off, until one time I got laid off the very day after my mom passed away. Can you imagine going to work and they tell you, oh, we're sorry to hear about your mom. By the way, we got to lay you off. Can you imagine what I had to overcome and being in a situation of not getting the job thereafter? And that was in 2012, in August of 2012. 2013 roll around, I'm still unemployed, can't find work. Then I get an eviction notice on a Friday of January telling me I'm scheduled for eviction on the 31st, which was only 3 days, Friday, which was the moment that Monday on 2014. Folks, this was only just 3 years ago. But I overcame. My life changed around, folks. Now, it ain't changed by chance. It changed by choice. I decided that I wasn't going to let my circumstance determine who I am and determine my future. So I won, and I'm winning. I'm still winning. I'm just 5 sponsors shy of launching a multi-million-dollar company that's going to go from the United States all the way over to Perth, Australia, all the way up to Amsterdam in the UK, over to San Diego, over to Anaheim, over to Chicago, down here in Florida, over in New York, DC, Atlanta, Charlotte. 5 sponsors shy. That's how hard I've been working ever since I put my foot in Florida on February the 6th, 2014. I'm not going to say if I can do it, you can do it. I'm going to tell you if I can do it, you better do it. I don't care what your circumstances are. If you're not dead, you can make a difference. If you put a mirror up in front of you and breathe in it, if the mirror fogs up, guess what? That means you're alive. That means you can get on your grind. That means you can find what you're here for. You can start reading some books. You can start watching some videos on how to be successful in the areas you want to be successful in. Do your research, folks, on being better. Find somebody who's better than you and make them your mentor. Find somebody who's doing great in areas that you want to be great in and make them your mentor. Pick their brains. Who would ever thought that I would have the phone numbers in my phone of Les Brown, James Arthur Ray, and Dr. Willie Jolly? Well, I don't have James Arthur Ray's personal phone number, but I have access to him anytime I need to talk to him. He has my number. And he has called me on occasions. Hey, Jay, I'm just calling to check on you. How would you like to have multi-millionaire mentors? And yes, I'm mentioning money. People might say, why is it you talking about money? But guess what? I'm a businessman. That's what I'm doing. This is my business. I'm helping you change your lifestyle, change your mindset. So I talk about money because I talk about business. Just like, do you go to church and tell your pastor, you talk about God a lot. This is a church. That's what he's going to talk about. You come into a business forum, I'm going to talk about business. You can't talk about business without mentioning money. You need money to run a business. As a matter of fact, you need money to run your personal life. You need your money to take care of those that you claim you love. So folks, don't act like money is so much of a bad thing, because if that's how you're thinking, I can guarantee you for the rest of your life, you're going to have a net worth of only $200. That's the truth. But the key is not to chase the money. The key is to let the money chase you. And it only for the money to chase you, folks. You got to find what you have in your basement, in here. And you need to bring that to the marketplace. You need to let the market know that they will be better with what you have to offer them. Just like Bill Gates when he done it. Steve Jobs when he done it. Carlos Slim when he done it. Warren Buffett, Tyler Perry, Russell Simmons, Oprah, Stedman Graham, Les Brown. You're here to make a difference, not to just pay bills and die, folks. But I'm going to tell you one thing. If all you're doing is taking your money and putting it in being entertained, I can guarantee you right now, all you ever going to do is pay bills and die. Brother Rock, BMW, man. Bus, Mitchell, Weldon, Walker. So if that's all you're going to do, folks, is take your money and go to everybody else's concert, I can guarantee you, all you're ever going to do is pay bills and die. And I can also guarantee you that you're only going to have a net worth of around $200 to $300. Gentleman by the name of Jack Canfield. Jack Canfield was in the movie called The Secret. Jack Canfield said the average retiree retires with a net worth of only $25,000. You work 40 years, 40 hours a day. 40 hours a week for 40 years, retire and only getting 40% of it. If you're working that long, your net worth should be way more than just $25,000 when you retire. I'm just saying, y'all ready to delete me yet? it happened. I've had people have deleted me, but let me tell you what happens when they delete me. I get a friend request from somebody who's better. You see what I'm saying? I get a friend request from, because see, I've stayed around 5,000 friends. You can't get any more friends than 5,000. So when someone deletes me, I get an upgrade. I don't go out and look for an upgrade. The upgrade comes to me because of the value that I bring. You see what I'm saying, folks? You will attract like-minded people. So I attracted this brother named Sid up from New York that lives down here, who was a broker to the brokers on Wall Street. I've attracted other motivational speakers. So if you want to delete me. An upgrade will come because I have something valuable that I bring into the marketplace. I have something in the basement. So folks, that's all I want to share with you tonight. I'm about 5 or 7 minutes over our time. I like to end at 9:30. So listen, I want to do a shout out to those who always share. Lisa Harper, always share. Dan, Rosia, always share. Denise George shares. Sylvia Fleming shares. She just had a newborn baby, so I haven't seen her in a while. So congratulations to Sylvia Fleming. Lakita Powell have shared. Thank you, Lakita. Trayon Brown has shared. Coasty Cloud shares. I had one other person who shared today. Forgive me if I don't remember who you are, but just put it in the comments and I'll make sure I give you a highlight. I give you a shout out. So folks, one last huge favor I need you to do for me. One, watch the video again if you came in late and share the video. I know I got off a little bit earlier in the video, because I'm tired of seeing black folks struggle on purpose. You're not struggling by circumstance, you're struggling by on purpose. You know what the word POUR stands for? You know what the acronym of POUR is? Passing over opportunities repeatedly. We constantly pass over opportunities because we always want to be entertained, not educated. So therefore, folks, watch the video again and share it. Until then, I want you to sing like no one can hear you. Dance like no one can see you. Love like you've never been hurt. And live like it's heaven on earth. I'm Jay Lee. I love you, and the world needs you. So stop that damn texting and driving. Peace and blessings, folks. Have a glorious evening.